The bookstore's oak floor creaked under Lila's sneakers as she hurried to stack the last of the new releases. Her hands shook, scattering bookmarks across the counter. She knew what was coming. The staff, 10 pairs of eyes, watched her from the reading nook, their whispers barely muffled by the jazz playing overhead. Clara's voice sliced through the quiet. "This level of carelessness is unacceptable, Lila. You've embarrassed not only yourself but our entire family." Lila Harper, the younger of the Harper sisters, felt her throat tighten. Clara stood by the front window, her sharp cheekbones catching the afternoon light, her navy blazer pristine. Where Clara had their father's angular resolve, Lila had their mother's soft curls and, according to Clara, her infuriating habit of chasing dreams over duties. "I can explain," Lila began, clutching a misprinted flyer for the book club she'd organized. Clara raised a hand. "The summer reading event was your responsibility. Instead, you ordered the wrong titles, children's books for an adult literary panel. We looked like amateurs." Her tone was calm, but it cut deeper for it. "Luckily, Maya caught your mistake before the event collapsed entirely." Maya, leaning against a bookshelf, gave Lila a small nod. Sympathy? Hard to tell in this den of perfectionists. "It was one error," Theo whispered from beside Lila, his voice barely audible. Silence. Clara's command froze the room. "Lila, pack your things. You're done here, effective immediately." The words hit like a wave. 5 years of working in Clara's shadow, trying to prove her worth in the family bookstore, ended in this moment of public shame. "You can't just," Lila started. "I can, and I am. Theo will walk you out." Lila's chair scraped as she stood. "Mom and Dad would be ashamed of you," she said, the words slipping out before she could stop them. Clara's jaw tightened, but something flickered in her eyes. Hurt, maybe. It vanished as quickly as it came. "Our parents aren't here," Clara said coldly, "and their absence doesn't excuse failure." Lila grabbed her notebook and stormed to her desk. Theo caught up as she shoved books into a cardboard box. "This is wrong," he said, helping her pack. "She's your sister." Lila laughed, bitter. "Sister? Clara stopped being my sister when our parents died. She became my boss, my landlord, my keeper, everything but family. What'll you do now?" "No idea." Lila tucked a photo into the box, one of her and Clara at Lila's high school graduation, both smiling, no trace of the masks they wore now. Clara controlled everything, the bookstore, Lila's apartment, even her share of their parents' estate. Theo squeezed her arm. "Call me later, okay?" The walk through Harper's books felt endless, whispers trailing her to the door. As it closed, Lila caught a glimpse of Clara in her office, already on the phone, probably scheduling her next staff meeting. Outside, the salty air of Port Haven stung her face. Lila let the tears fall, collapsing onto a bench by the boardwalk. Her phone buzzed. A text from Clara. "Rent due on the 1st. Don't be late." She stared at the message, then at the bookstore's weathered sign. Harper's Books, S. 1978. 3 years ago, after the boating accident that took their parents, Clara had taken charge of the store, the estate, even Lila's life. "I'm protecting you," she'd said. "You need structure." Maybe she was right. Maybe Lila was the failure Clara thought her was. But sitting there, watching tourists stream past, something sparked inside her, a flicker of defiance. Her phone buzzed again, an unknown number. "Miss Harper, this is Ellen Carter from Coastal Trust. We're executing the will of your Aunt Marina Wells. Please contact us regarding your inheritance." Aunt Marina? Lila barely remembered her. Mom's quirky sister who'd vanished to Paris when Lila was a kid. An inheritance? A third buzz. "Clara again, dinner tonight 7 p.m. We need to discuss your next steps." Lila stared at the texts, then at the bookstore where Clara still reigned. For the first time in years, she hit decline on Clara's message. "No," she whispered. "Not this time." She stood, grabbed her box, and started walking. Clara always said Lila was too soft, too quick to bend. Well, even paper can hold an edge when folded right. Ignoring her buzzing phone, Lila dialed Coastal Trust. Whatever Aunt Marina had left, it was hers. Not Clara's, not the store's. As she walked away from Harper's Books, Lila felt something she hadn't since their parents died. Possibility. Clara might have taken her job and tried to cage her spirit, but she'd forgotten one thing. Lila was a Harper too, and Harpers don't crumple easily. Ellen Carter's office was a cozy contrast to the bookstore's polished shelves, its walls lined with faded nautical charts. She adjusted her glasses, sliding a thick envelope across her desk. "Your aunt was clear about her wishes. The cottage on Driftwood Lane, its contents, and a modest trust fund are yours." Lila's heart stopped. Driftwood Lane? That's where I live. Yes, the blue cottage at 214. Ellen handed her a photo, the same house Clara had been charging her rent for since their parents' deaths. There's a mistake. Lila's hands trembled, gripping the photo. Clara manages all our properties. Ellen shook her head. This cottage was never part of your parents' estate. Marina bought it 15 years ago and left it to you alone upon her death. The room tilted. All those rent checks, Clara's threats about late payments, lies. When did Aunt Marina die? Lila whispered. 3 years ago. Ellen checked her notes. We tried contacting you, but your sister said you were unavailable due to a family tragedy. 3 years. Right when their parents died, right when Clara took over. Lila's phone buzzed. Clara's 10th call. She declined it. What now? She asked. The cottage is yours, free and clear. Here's the deed and keys. Ellen slid them over. The trust fund covers maintenance and taxes, not a fortune, but enough to keep the cottage and provide some stability. Lila left in a daze, clutching the documents. On the boardwalk, she nearly bumped into Jude, her childhood friend from down the street. Lila, you okay? You look spooked. She showed him the deed. His eyes widened. Clara's been charging you rent for a house you own? That's fraud, Lila. Like, call the cops fraud. Her phone buzzed again. Clara, where are you? We need to talk about your situation. Lila answered, a strange calm settling over her. My situation? You mean how you've been collecting rent on my house? Silence, then. Who have you been talking to? Aunt Marina's lawyer. Funny timing, isn't it? Right after Mom and Dad died when you took control of everything. Come to the store, we'll handle this privately. No. The word felt like freedom. I'm done with private talks that end with you in charge. Lila, you're being dramatic. I was protecting you. By stealing from me? Jude pointed to a cafe across the street. Lila nodded, already moving. It wasn't stealing, Clara said. I was managing your assets. Assets I didn't know I had. We'll talk later, with lawyers. Lila hung up as she and Jude entered the cafe. Her phone lit up with Clara's texts. Don't do anything rash. Think about your future. You need me. Jude ordered coffee, listening as Lila spilled everything. What's your next move? He asked. I don't know. She stared into her mug. Part of me wants to press charges, but she's my sister. Is she? Sisters don't do this. Her phone buzzed, a text from Theo. Clara's losing it. Half the staff heard her yelling at Maya about some cottage. What's happening? Lila showed Jude. He grinned. Sounds like the Queen's throne is wobbling. Maybe. Lila took a deep breath. But I need to be smart. Clara's got connections, influence. You've got proof of fraud, Jude countered. And I bet there are folks at that store who'd love to see her slip. He was right. Lila thought of Maya's quiet nod, Theo's support, the others who'd chafed under Clara's reign. Her phone buzzed again. An email from Ellen. Miss Harper, your aunt left additional documents regarding your sister's actions. Contact me if you wish to discuss. Jude read it, his eyebrows shooting up. Aunt Marina knew what was up. Lila nodded, a plan forming. Clara always said Lila was too soft to succeed in business. Maybe it was time to show her that kindness wasn't weakness. Lila's kitchen table was cluttered with coffee mugs and legal pads as Theo stared at her, stunned. You want to do what? Turn the cottage into a community book hub, Lila repeated. The first floor has space for a lending library and writing workshops. I'll live upstairs. And you want me to leave Harper's books to join you? Theo laughed, but his eyes sparked with interest. You've seen how many people Clara turns away because they can't afford rare editions or event fees. We could make books accessible. Lila nodded. It's not just about books. It's about giving people a place to create, to share stories. Theo leaned forward. This isn't just about helping people, is it? No, Lila admitted. But wanting to prove Clara wrong doesn't mean we can't do good. He scrolled through his phone. I know 2 clerks who'd jump ship in a heartbeat. And there's this guy, Ezra. He runs a small press for local authors. He's been looking for collaborators. The doorbell rang. Through the window, Lila saw Clara on the porch. Her porch, she reminded herself. Back door, she whispered to Theo. Text me later. Theo slipped out as Clara knocked harder. Lila took her time answering. Clara pushed past her, heels clicking. We need to talk about this ridiculous idea of yours. Which one? The book hub or pressing charges for fraud? Clara spun around. Is that what this is about? Money? Name your price. It's not about money. Lila crossed her arms. It's about you lying to me for 3 years. I was protecting our family's legacy. You weren't ready to know you owned this cottage. When was I going to be ready, Clara? Clara paced. You don't get what it takes to keep this store alive. I've spent years building our name. Your name, Lila corrected. And now you're scared I'll ruin it. What do you want? I want you to leave. This is my house, and you're trespassing. Don't be childish. Clara's eyes flicked to the corners of the room. Security cameras? Installed yesterday? Want me to call the police? Clara left, slamming the door. Lila waited until her car vanished, then called Theo. Coast is clear. Tell me about Ezra. 2 weeks later, a sign went up. Driftwood Community Books. Theo and 3 other Harper's Books defectors had joined Lila. Ezra brought his indie press clients and an energy that made even the longest days feel light. We've got 12 new programs this week, Ezra announced at their morning meeting. 4 writing workshops, 3 storytime sessions, and 5 book swaps. Any conflicts with Clara's store? Not yet, Lila said, but word is she's losing customers. The literary panel we botched, they're hosting their next event with us. Theo touched her arm. There's more. We've got a mole at Harper's Books. What? Maya's been feeding us info. She's fed up with Clara's micromanaging. Lila remembered Maya's nod the day she was fired. Why's she helping us? Because, a voice said from the doorway, Clara's empire is built on control, not loyalty. Maya stood there, in jeans instead of her usual Harper's uniform. Mind if we talk privately? In Lila's office, Maya cut to the chase. Clara's been inflating prices and cutting corners for years. Nothing illegal, but it's driven customers away. The staff's restless. Why tell me this? Because you're building something real. Maya handed her a USB drive. Sales records, emails, Clara's notes. Use it how you want. After Maya left, Ezra found Lila staring at the drive. You okay? I wanted to hurt Clara, Lila said, but this could ruin her. Then don't use it to ruin her. Use it to help people. Lila looked up, struck by his steady gaze. Is that what you do? I think you already know what you want. He smiled. The question is, are you ready? Her phone buzzed. A text from Clara. Heard about your little project. Hope you know what you're doing. Lila showed Ezra. She won't make this easy. Good things never are. He stood. We've got writers waiting in the workshop room. A young man sat clutching a dog-eared manuscript, his eyes nervous. Hi, Lila said, sitting beside him. I'm Lila, and I'm here to help you. For the first time since starting the hub, she felt certain. Clara had taught her that success meant making others feel small. But watching this writer's relief as they reviewed his story, Lila saw a different kind of strength, one that lifted others up. The local paper ran a feature on Driftwood Community Books, highlighting their free workshops and growing membership. Clara hadn't texted in days, but Maya's next call was urgent. Meet me at the pier. 30 minutes. It's big. The pier was crowded with summer tourists, but Lila spotted Maya pacing by the ice cream stand. Clara's up to something, Maya said. She called an emergency staff meeting about your aunt's estate. She's claiming you're too unstable to manage the cottage. Lila's stomach dropped. Can she do that? She's got 2 accountants ready to testify about your erratic spending on the book hub. She's pushing for guardianship. That's insane. The hub's profitable. She'll spin it as reckless. Maya lowered her voice. But I've got an idea. Half the staff want her out. With your proof of fraud and my testimony, we could force a vote to replace her as manager. Lila hesitated. Before she could respond, Clara's voice cut through the crowd. Well, isn't this cozy? Clara stood there, flawless in a linen dress, 2 staff members behind her. Plotting in public now, Maya, how unprofessional. Maya straightened. Just chatting with my sister. Interesting company. Clara turned to Lila. We filed guardianship papers this morning. For your own good, of course. Of course, Lila matched her smile. Did you mention the part where you charge me rent on my own cottage? A misunderstanding. The judge will see I was protecting you. Clara checked her watch. Hearings next week. Do try to dress appropriately. After she left, Maya gripped Lila's arm. We need to act fast. I can have the staff ready by Friday. No, Lila pulled away. I'm not playing her game. This isn't a game, Lila. She'll take everything you've built. Maybe. Lila started walking. Or maybe it's time to show her what I've built. Back at the hub, Ezra waited with a stack of files. Heard about the guardianship claim. We've got options. I know what I want. Lila sat down. Remember that writer we helped last month, the one who published his short story? Call him. And the kids from the Storytime group, the book swap families, everyone we've helped. I want them at the hearing. Ezra grinned. Character witnesses, real people whose lives you've changed. Theo burst in, waving his phone. You need to see this. On the screen, Clara was giving a press conference. As Lila's sister, I only want what's best. Her recent choices raise concerns about her stability. Ezra muted it. She's controlling the narrative. Then, let's rewrite it. Lila grabbed her phone. Call that reporter from the paper. The next few days were a whirlwind. While Clara painted Lila as erratic on local news, Lila's team gathered witnesses. Ezra worked late, drafting statements. Maya called twice, pushing her staff revolt. But Lila didn't answer. The night before the hearing, Ezra found Lila alone in the hub. Why are you helping me? She asked. This could tank your press. Because you reminded me why I love books. He stepped closer. And because you're the bravest person I know. I don't feel brave. I'm terrified. Good. Use that fear to fight for what's right. His hand found hers, warm and steady. Her phone buzzed. Clara. Last chance. Shut down the book hub, come back to the store, and I'll drop the guardianship. Lila showed Ezra. What'll you do? She typed. See you in court, sis. Looking at Ezra, she felt a spark of certainty. Clara thinks strength means controlling others. Tomorrow, I'll show her what real strength looks like. He squeezed her hand. We all will. The community hub buzzed as Lila prepared for a writing workshop. The hearing was 3 days away, but she refused to let Clara derail her work. Ezra was leading a poetry session when Theo whispered, She's here. Clara stood in the doorway, out of place in her tailored coat. The room quieted as she walked in, heels clicking. Don't stop on my account, she said, sitting in the back. I'm just observing. Ezra continued, but Lila felt Clara's gaze. After the session, Clara cornered her by the coffee station. Quite the setup, though I notice you're not charging anyone. That's the point of a community hub, Lila said. Access, not profit. The point is, you're wasting your potential on people who don't appreciate it. Clara lowered her voice. They don't need free books, they need to make better choices. Like I did following you? Lila met her eyes. Letting you control my life? I gave you everything. You took everything. A young writer, Sam, approached with his daughter. Lila, we brought muffins for the volunteers. His daughter hugged Lila. Thanks to you, Dad's story got published. Clara's lips tightened. After they left, her mask slipped. You think this makes a difference? I know it does, but you wouldn't get that. You're too busy playing the villain. Clara laughed, sharp. You have no idea what I've sacrificed for this family. Before Lila could reply, Ezra called her to help a writer. When she looked back, Clara was gone. That evening, Lila and Ezra reviewed hearing documents. The hub was quiet, the only sound the hum of the printer. You okay? Ezra asked, noticing her distraction. Something Clara said about sacrifices. Lila pushed the files aside. I never asked why she got so controlling after our parents died. Maybe you should. It's too late, he took her hand. It's never too late for truth. A knock interrupted them. Jude stood there, holding an envelope. Found this in Mom's attic. Inside was a newspaper clipping from 12 years ago. Local bookseller saves family store at personal cost. The photo showed a younger Clara with their father. Read it, Jude urged. The article detailed how Clara, at 22, had taken a loan to save Harper's Books from bankruptcy after their father's mismanagement. She'd worked nights at a diner to keep Lila in art classes. She never told me, Lila whispered. There's more, Jude said. My mom kept records. Clara deferred college to keep you in school. Her phone buzzed. Maya, staff meeting tomorrow. Say the word and Clara's out. Ezra read it. You tempted? I thought I was. Lila looked at the thank you notes on the hub's walls. But this feels different. Because it is. You're building, not destroying. Lila typed to Maya. No revolt. Find another way. You're showing mercy? Jude asked. No. Lila gathered her files. I'm choosing to be better than her. Ezra smiled. What's the plan? First, we win the hearing. Then, she held up the clipping. I think it's time for a real sister talk. Her phone lit up. Clara, dinner tomorrow. Just us, please. Lila saw the period after please for what it was, not a demand but a plea. Go, Ezra said. Some fights need olive branches, not swords. Lila nodded, gathering her courage. Will you be here after? His hand brushed her cheek. Always. The restaurant was empty. Clara had booked it out. Classic control move. She sat at a corner table, sipping Merlot. You came, she said as Lila sat. Almost didn't. Lila placed the clipping on the table. Want to tell me about this? Clara's fingers grazed the paper, trembling. Where'd you get this? Jude, 12 years is a long time to hide a sacrifice. It wasn't relevant. You saved the store, worked nights to keep me in school. Seems relevant. The waiter neared, but Clara waved him off. That was a different time. When did it change? When did protecting me become controlling me? Clara sipped her wine. The day of the accident. The Coast Guard called me first. I had to see their boat, what was left of it, while you were at that art fair. The store was bleeding money, Dad's debts piling up. You were a mess. Someone had to take charge. So you sacrificed yourself again. And look how you repay me. Clara's voice hardened. Starting a rival book hub, poaching my staff. Your staff? Lila leaned forward. Like Sam, who couldn't afford your signed first editions, or the kids who needed free story time. Don't be naive. Free workshops don't pay the bills. Actually, they do. Lila slid over the hub's financials. We're profitable, Clara, small but growing, and we're helping people. Clara opened her mouth, but Maya burst in, face flushed. Clara, we've got a problem. She froze, seeing Lila. Didn't know you had company. Speak, Clara ordered. The literary panel, they're filing a complaint with the Chamber of Commerce about our pricing. They had help. Maya glanced at Lila. Someone with access to our books. You think Lila started. No, Clara cut in. This is your move, isn't it, Maya? Finally staging your coup. Maya straightened. The staff's done with your fear tactics. We're voting you out tomorrow. After all I've done for you. Clara's hands shook as she poured more wine. Maya left, leaving silence. Congratulations, Clara said to Lila. You win. This isn't what I wanted. Isn't it? Taking everything from me, like I took from you? I turned down Maya's plan twice. Clara froze, glass halfway to her lips. What? She approached me weeks ago. I said no. Why? Because ruining you won't fix us. Lila reached for Clara's hand, but she pulled back. When did you last take a break? Have a real friend? Live outside that store? I had responsibilities. To who? Dad's gone. I'm grown. Who are you protecting? Clara's glass hit the table, wine spilling. I don't know how to be anything else, she whispered. Then let me help you, like you helped me. Lila pulled out a document, staff vote transfer. Maya doesn't have the votes without my support. Clara stared at it. What's the catch? Step down as manager. Take a break, find yourself. And become what? A dreamer like you? Become my sister again. Lila caught her hand. The one who worked nights for me. Tears glistened in Clara's eyes, the first Lila had seen since the funeral. I was furious when you started your hub. Not because of competition, but because you didn't need me. I learned from you. Lila squeezed her hand. Even if you lost your way. Clara's phone buzzed. Staff, likely. She ignored it. The hearing, I'll withdraw the petition. Thank you. And the store? Take the break. The store will wait, but on new terms. Clara nodded, glancing at the empty restaurant. I've controlled everything, haven't I? Start small. Next time we eat somewhere with people. A faint smile, baby steps. Outside, Ezra waited in his truck. Clara saw him and raised an eyebrow. He seems loyal. He is. Good. You deserve that. They stood, years of pain and hope between them. Lunch next week? Lila offered, in public. Baby steps. Clara walked away, but her step was lighter. Watching her go, Lila realized some victories don't feel like triumph. They feel like the first step toward healing. 3 days later, Clara arrived at the cottage, looking different in jeans and a sweater. She nodded at the Driftwood Community Book sign. Dad would have hated it. Mom would have framed it. She would. Lila poured coffee, setting out a box of family photos. We haven't looked at these in years. Clara picked up one. Them as kids, laughing on the beach. You were such a happy kid, until I became your jailer. Did you? Lila slid her a mug. I've been thinking about what you said, about the accident, seeing their boat alone. Old news. Is it? You haven't stopped running since. Someone had to be strong, and someone had to be controlled. The words were sharp, but Lila softened. You were protecting me from what, Clara? From ending up like them. Clara's mug clattered. Dad's store was drowning in debt. Mom hid it, enabled him. Their last fight was about money, the night they took the boat out. Lila sat back, stunned. You never told me. When the Coast Guard called, all I could think was, I have to do better. I have to save what's left. Clara wiped her eyes. Every choice, every sacrifice, was to make sure we'd never be that vulnerable again. Including hiding my cottage? Including making sure you didn't squander it on dreams that wouldn't last. Ezra's voice broke in. Are those dreams squandered? He stood in the doorway, holding photos, hub success stories. Sam's book is in stores. The Storytime kids are reading above grade level. That's different, Clara said. Why? Because it doesn't make millions? Lila stepped closer. You want to talk about waste? Look at yourself. When's the last time you smiled like this? She held up the beach photo. Clara stared at it, then at the hub photos. I don't know how to be any other way. Yes, you do. Lila touched her arm. The sister who saved the store, she knew who she was. That girl was naive. That girl was brave, Ezra said, like her sister is now. Clara sank into a chair. The staff want answers by tomorrow, so give them some. Lila sat beside her. Take the break, travel, find who Clara is without the store. And the hub? Join us. That workshop last week, we need volunteers. Clara picked up a photo, Mom and Dad on the pier. They made so many mistakes. So have we. The question is what now? Clara was quiet then. Your workshop, need more hands? Always. She stood, grabbing her bag. At the door she turned. That beach photo, can I have a copy? Better idea. Lila grabbed her keys. Let's get dinner. Somewhere loud with people. We can talk, the store, the hub, anything. Including you and Ezra? Clara's old sharpness glinted, but she smiled. Baby steps. For the first time in years, Clara laughed. A real laugh. Fine, but no dive bars. Progress, not perfection, Ezra called as they left. In the window's reflection, Lila saw two sisters walking together, not one leading. The road ahead wouldn't be smooth, but they were both choosing to walk it. The hub's courtyard buzzed with their monthly book fair. Clara adjusted a stack of free paperbacks, comfortable in a cardigan. You're alphabetizing donations now? Lila teased. Order matters, Clara said, smiling, even in book hubs. Since her break, Clara had dived into the hub's work, her intensity now fueling community projects. Theo handed Lila a newspaper. Harper Sisters redefined Port Haven's literary scene. The photo showed them at the fair, laughing. Dad would have grumbled, Clara said, tracing the headline. Mom would have framed it. Definitely. Ezra appeared with a wrapped package. For the office. Inside was the beach photo, restored, framed beside a recent shot of them at the hub. The inscription read, The Harper Sisters, Then and Now. Clara touched the frame. Full circle, huh? Sam's daughter ran up, waving a storybook. I wrote about you too. You're my heroes. Clara read it, hands shaking. The Harper Sisters show that being strong means helping, not hurting. Smart kid, Ezra said, slipping an arm around Lila. Jude arrived with coffee. Like old times, but better. Clara watched Theo train volunteers, her expression soft. I never got it before, the power of giving back. Better late than never. Lila squeezed her hand. A client called Clara over, needing help with a workshop sign-up. She went, her old authority now warm, human. As sunset lit the courtyard, Clara and Lila sat on the steps. The store called, Clara said. They want me back. Lila's heart caught. And? I said I need time. Turns out this, she gestured to the fair, is addictive. So you're staying? Let's say I'm exploring options. She nodded at Ezra, loading books. When are you making that official? When are you letting me set you up with Maya? Lila tossed a bookmark at her. Baby steps. Sam approached with more muffins, his daughter beaming. Thank you both. After they left, Clara stood. Dinner? Somewhere with paper napkins? Actually, Lila pulled out a photo. Mom in the kitchen, them helping with cookies. How about Mom's shortbread recipe? Clara stared, then smiled. We'll burn it? Probably. The kitchen'll be a mess. Definitely. Clara linked her arm through Lila's. Let's do it. At the cottage, their cottage, flour dusted the counter like sand. If their eyes missed it as the shortbread scent filled the air, neither mentioned it. Some victories come with headlines, others come quietly, in flour-strewn kitchens and paper napkin dinners, in sisters finding their way back, one page at a time. The shortbread was imperfect, but so were they, and that made it taste even better.